using your stomach.
Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Terms and conditions apply.
MTN
Momo is regulated by the Bank of Uganda.
Tiyashika Ruguza bakuletere promotion y'omwezi guno Christmas bonanza habuli ndwaire ha mitwaro 65 zonka kuletere kyome kikebera buli nyakalingo y'endwaire ha sente ezo pressure ulcers ensigo omutima obune amani gekazine kisaija kuterwa omutwe kulemera mu nsonga kulumwenderalera buli katundu koona bakuletere green tea okarwara maino obaga kaguba ijaba kwijanja
tukusuburira cyane mbibazi tugisaze ucweka 5 ha 10 emitwaro mukagosa kutandika odozi yawo boka kiri uburwayire bwawe
basange Karuguza urabire hatandi Big Bank amagya kikada hahina welding balirana ba complex guest house nekipande noba nokiro bakora mandi paka sandi ha 0786 oba 0740 023 nitwe abatiyanshi Karuguza ija tukwijanja
For how Chinese bantu baingi muno ohulira kyansimba hano nkwata hamugongo ekifuba kikulemera oburumi munyingo mu baitu hati wekwata ba for how Chinese bano ni bayijanja banokira kimo ebirwaire no biraga nenkoro yawe yokikugu baine byoma ebya meridian therapy nibikonyera okwigula ebinywa kutereza emigongo alinywa bakusasa nibakumara mu busasi bona bwino munyingo hati nywa bakuzimbe bigere mugende mubayikire nibakora handwereza maiso nibajanja basukali harusazi okwetaga kusara size okendeza omunyeto gwine oyinekizibu kyokusanyarara hamuna inywa abateirwe stroke niba batereze ni mugaruka okurungi muno aba for how Chinese hano mukaruguza basange amuhanda gwa kizizi ogugenda ha vision hakiomba ko kiyakona house haine ichundiro lya magiteri yaka opposite Millennium Guest House rundi baterera namba ze simu 0 kinana na mnana misanju na misanju asatu na mnana na 0 nkaga na ibiri kinana na isatu anna nemu for how Chinese hamuno bwijanja byo burungi
esaha zikire msanje zeihangwe ohulirize kedyal 10 fama akaire kanu nikakuleterwa
MTN Voice Bundles ezikutera network zona habei dondolo migasita 10 ibiri mu hash rundo yekonyeza my MTN app okome mu daily bundle habo kuba butukubaza itwena titukwemerezebwa MTN Uganda Limited nerolerwa Uganda Communications Commission.
Police call for increased caution amid rising disaster casualties. Fort Portal City officials arraigned on charges of abuse of office. Kamwenge adopts rights-based approach to curb malaria, and Israel kills 11 people in Lebanon. Hezbollah attacks Israeli site. There's more stories in the detail just shortly. A very good afternoon. It is 2 minutes past 1 p.m. My name is Deo Asiimwe. Now the news in detail. The Uganda Police Force have urged the public to exercise heightened caution as harsh weather conditions continue to claim lives across the country. A combination of persistent rains, flooding, and mudslides has led to multiple tragedies in recent weeks, with officials warning of further risks in safety measures if safety measures are not prioritized. ACP Katuma Kituma Rusoki, the police spokesperson, has described the situation as critical, citing numerous incidents of loss and devastation. Recent incidents include the recovery of an identified man's body from River Mpologoma in Budaka district and the discovery of Julius Semambo's body in stagnant water at an abandoned house in Wakiso district is Lubiji wetland on 24th and 25th of last month respectively. In a particularly tragic event occurred on 27th last month when Uganda National Roads Authority engineer Hassan Yehaya drowned while attempting to rescue passengers trapped in flood waters on the Pakwach-Nwoya Road. Mudslides in Bulambuli district on the same date added to the crisis, barring homes in Bulukanya sub-county. Search and rescue teams have so far retrieved 27 bodies, with the death toll rising to 27 after one victim succumbed in the hospital over the weekend. In light of these events, police have emphasized the importance of safety precautions during this period, calling on residents to avoid crossing flooded areas, stay indoors during heavy rains, and keep emergency contacts readily accessible. The rising casualties underscore the urgent need for both individual vigilance and broader disaster preparedness to mitigate the impact of Uganda's severe weather patterns. Two Fort Portal City officials, Richard Kagaba Ndora, the acting deputy town clerk, and Ben Mutoro Mosinguzi, an office assistant and records officer, have been remanded to prison by the Anti-Corruption Court for alleged abuse of office through forgery of appointment letters. The duo yesterday appeared before the Grade 1 Magistrate Christopher Opit and pleaded not guilty to the charges of abuse of office. They are jointly accused with Susan Chomohendo, a senior assistant secretary who has yet to appear in court. The State House Anti-Corruption Unit, in collaboration with the Uganda Police Force, conducted investigations that led to their arrest. The prosecution alleges that between November 2022 and July last year, the accused forged appointment letters for 23 applicants without clearance from the public service. These letters were backdated to June 2023, 29th, in a bid to bypass a Ministry of Public Service circular issued on 30th of June 2023 halting unauthorized recruitment. The prosecution asserts that the accused disregarded several public service guidelines on recruitment and acted against the interests of the government of Uganda. The suspects will remain in custody until 4th of this month as investigations continue. This is not the first time the accused have faced judicial action. In August last year, they were remanded to Katojo prison by the Fort Portal Chief Magistrate Moses Nabende for similar charges before being granted bail. They were previously charged alongside Sylvia Kihunde, an internal auditor, before the case was later transferred to the Anti-Corruption Court in Kampala for specialized trial. Kamwenge District Health Department has launched a 2-day capacity building training aimed at equipping stakeholders with the skills to integrate human rights and gender considerations into the control and management of malaria. The training held at Kamwenge Town Council headquarters responds to alarming statistics that rank Uganda as the 3rd highest country in the malaria cases globally and 7th in malaria-related deaths. Dr. William Muchunguzi, the District Health Officer, DHO, for Kamwenge, has emphasized the urgent need for innovative strategies to tackle the malaria burden. He reveals that government will begin receiving malaria vaccines in April next year, targeting children under 5 years, noting that this will be a game changer in reducing malaria fatalities among most vulnerable population. Harriet Katusime, the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer of Kamwenge, highlights the critical role of the public awareness in the fight against malaria, calling on participants to focus on community sensitization. Fred Mbonigaba, the Secretary for Social Services and District Councillor representing Kahunge Sub-County, has called for increased attention to vulnerable groups who face the highest risk of malaria. The training is expected to empower local stakeholders to address socio-economic and danger disparities that exacerbate malaria cases. The Ministry of Internal Affairs has revealed that 1,937 children have been trafficked for sex exploitation this year alone. The National Coordinator Office for Trafficking in the Persons under the Ministry of Internal Affairs indicates that most of the children have been sexually exploited within Uganda. Derek Higenyi Basalirwa, the Deputy National Coordinator Trafficking in Persons Office, says that children are trafficked from their parents' home with dubious promises and they end up being deployed for sexual activities. Basalirwa notes that other than 1,937 children trafficked for sex exploitation, 658 were victims of both sex and labor exploitation. According to Basalirwa, sometimes parents and guardians are conduits in incidents of child trafficking. In total, 4,966 people, including adults, have been trafficked, of which children make 79%. More than 93% of the victims were trafficked domestically, which calls for more sensitization about the dangers of sex and labor exploitation. Areas that have topped in trafficking include Mbale with 373 cases, Kampala Metropolitan Area with 313, Masaka with 257 crimes, Jinja with 253 incidents, Nakawa with 233 crimes, Gulu with 173, Karamoja with 173, Mukono with 161, and Mubende with 164.
You are still listening to KDR News Broadcast. This is the news on the international scene.
Israel has killed 11 people, including a state security officer, in separate attacks in Lebanon as it continues its assaults on the country since the ceasefire with Hezbollah came into effect last week. The truce agreement was pushed to the brink yesterday as Israel's airstrikes killed 2 people and Hezbollah launched an attack against an Israeli military position in retaliation. Israel then responded with a series of air raids that have killed at least 9 people, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. Hezbollah says that it carried out a preliminary defensive response to the repeated violations of the ceasefire by attacking an Israeli military base in the hills of Kifar Kauba, a disputed area that Lebanon claims it is its own. Hezbollah notes that Israel breaches of the truce that went into effect on Wednesday last week include deadly air raids across Lebanon, shooting at civilians in the south, and flying drones and jets in Lebanon airspace, including over the capital Beirut. The recruited violence highlights the fragility of the ceasefire, which ended a devastating war that killed nearly 4,000 people in Lebanon and saw Hezbollah fire rockets daily at Israel. Dear listener, it is 12 minutes past 1 p.m. We'll take a quick look on the top stories as we wind up today's newscast. Police call for increased caution amid rising disaster casualties. Fort Portal City officials are arraigned before court on charges of abuse of office. Kamwenge adopts rights-based approach to curb malaria, and Israel kills 11 people in Lebanon. Hezbollah attacks Israeli site. That marks the end of today's afternoon bulletin. My name is Deo Asiimwe.
From all over the world, local, regional, national, and international, KDR FM brings you all the stories. KDR